Hey you guys, I am back. I'm ready to talk to you all. I know that it's been a little inconsistent how often I've been posting, but I'm trying my hardest. I'm dealing with my tinnitus just like all of you are, and I promise I'm going to get better and I'm going to continue to make content, and hopefully you all will continue to watch. I want to talk today about support for people who are suffering with tinnitus. We all know that everybody's tinnitus is completely different. There are people who are living with it at a very low level and they can cruise through their day barely even noticing that it's there. They might only hear it when they go to bed because it's really quiet, but for the most part, it's not bothersome for them and it's not an issue in getting on with their daily lives. There are people who are at the completely other end of the spectrum who are living with tinnitus at an extremely debilitating degree, which is where I thought I was at the beginning of my journey. It was a 9 out of 10 in terms of volume. And it completely turns your life upside down. You can't really do anything, go anywhere, be around any kind of noise until you really figure out how to get it under control. Maybe you still haven't figured out how to get it under control and you're still living in that space. Most people lie somewhere in between. So there's an extremely wide spectrum of what it looks like to live with tinnitus every single day. For people who are struggling, support is one of the most important things that you can have, whether it's from family, friends, in whatever form you can get it. Support is crucial when you're suffering so badly with tinnitus. But for me, I found that the problem lay in not really understanding how to ask for help, because I didn't really even understand myself what help I needed. I didn't know how to ask for what I wanted. I didn't know what that help looked like. In the beginning, when I first came to understand that I had tinnitus, I didn't have a life, not the life that I had before. In the beginning, when my tinnitus started, I didn't even know what it was, let alone how to ask for help. I was a complete mess for months on end. I didn't have the capacity to ask anybody for anything. My family and friends showed up for me in a huge way, in a way that I don't think I expected. My husband picked up the slack in the house and with the kids. My mom picked up the slack when my husband was traveling for work. My friends checked on me constantly, whether it was through email, through text, through phone calls, through voice notes. And they came around just to check, even though they knew they might not be able to stay. They brought food because they knew that I couldn't cook. I realized that not everybody has this kind of network surrounding them, especially without even having to ask. If you need help, you have to ask, because the people around you, they may not know that you need help. They may not know how badly you're struggling. More importantly, they may not know what you need from them. So swallow your pride and ask for help, because if we don't have help to get ourselves together, we're not going to be able to function in any capacity for ourselves or for anybody else. If you don't have family and friends around you, maybe try to look for some sort of tinnitus retraining therapy, a help center, audiology that may help with tinnitus. Try to look for something in your community that might be helpful for you, because you just never know what resources are available unless you check for them. Don't be afraid to look for help, and that help can come in other ways as well. Maybe therapy, talk therapy, therapy with CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, which we all know is really helpful for tinnitus. Help with your emotions, your frustrations, your feelings. and also help for pain management. People who have somatic tinnitus tend to have physical ailments that may contribute to their tinnitus. So getting massages or having acupuncture or chiro, we know that that's not going to help the tinnitus exactly, but it is going to help you manage the pain that comes along with it. I have so much pain in my shoulders, my jaw, my neck, my TMJ, everything. And I do massage, I do acupuncture, I do chiropractic just to help myself deal with that part of the pain. So there are different types of therapies that can help when you're experiencing physical, emotional pain from tinnitus. If you don't have support for the emotional strain that comes along with tinnitus, it may take you much longer to habituate, because those emotions, those frustrations, those are going to exacerbate all of your symptoms, and they may make your tinnitus hang on much longer than you want it to. Over the past couple of months, I have been on quite a few tinnitus support websites. I thought that I might find solace, I might find support, I might find help in connecting with other people who are going through what I'm going through. So I've been on tinnitus sites in Canada, in the US, in the UK, all over the world, connecting with other people who are suffering with tinnitus just like me. It's been a pretty interesting experience. It can be an amazing source of support for other people who want to be surrounded by people who share their plight, people who share what they're going through, people who know the pain of tinnitus, so you don't feel isolated or feel as though they're not going to understand what you're talking about. You can share information, you can share things that have worked or not worked for you. You can also just sometimes vent because you need to get it off your chest and you don't want to feel judged by people who may not understand. I have met some really amazing people. I've listened to some really amazing stories from people, from Army veterans, from people all over the world whose tinnitus have come from so many different sources. It's really cool to collect all of this information. I've made friendships with people who have been there to support me over the last couple of months. And I just want to say a quick shout out to Jason Vargas, to Chiff Timms, to Jasmine, you're my homie girl, and to Stephanie. I get emails, text messages just saying, hey, how was your day? I hope you're doing okay today. And sometimes that is all you need to feel seen and heard and supported. But some of those support groups, they're not all positive, and that's what you have to watch out for. You have to be very careful that you don't get sucked into the negative energy that some people show up with, because that is not what you're there for. It can be a lot to ingest and to manage other people's feelings and thoughts and opinions. Sometimes when it's too negative and you choose to take those things in, they can exacerbate your tinnitus as well. You don't want, I guess you have to find a happy medium between sharing positively and listening positively and the other side of that seesaw, because it can get quite heavy and quite dark. There are some people that are on there not for the right reasons, and there are some people who cannot find a positive light anywhere in their situation, and you don't want that to seep into your situation. I have sympathy and empathy for all of those people because I know all too well what it feels like. But on my personal journey, I can't get sucked into that negativity because it will hold me back as well. And I'm not saying that there are times where I don't feel down or sad, or I don't get frustrated with how long my habituation is taking, but I also want to try as much as possible to keep positive so that I'm always heading in the right direction. I guess what I'm trying to say is be intentional about the people that you let into your circle. Surround yourself with positive people who are going to bring positive energy, positive thoughts and feelings, and positive support to you so that you can function the best you can day by day to make it through that day, get to the next day, and start all over. You need to surround yourself with people who are going to help you take care of yourself so that you can keep moving forward in a practical, useful, and constructive way. That is the only way that you are going to be able to push forward in a good way, in a healthy way, and continue your journey to habituation, just like I am continuing my journey.